just a little bit, I'm going to bring on a good friend of mine. We went to school down to in Murray together, and he was one of the most creative guys I know, Carl Buchanan. Good morning, Carl.
How's it going, AJ?
It's going well, sir. Thank you so much for joining me today. How's
Yeah.
life treating you?
Great. Beautiful day today, and doing a radio interview, so that's awesome.
There you go. And you're not in Henderson. You're all the way in Colorado, right?
Yeah, I'm currently in Fort Collins. I moved out here. My girlfriend got a job at the local college, so
Sweet.
unfortunately we had to move.
Well, that's understandable. I totally get it. So, before we get into, you got a great project to tell me about, and I absolutely love following you on Facebook and everything that you have going on. But you got kind of a famous uncle that that's pretty cool. So, tell me about your uncle.
Well, my uncle's Neil Flynn. You probably remember him from Scrubs. He was the janitor, and he's just, I mean, a hilarious guy.
He is, and you have a lot of those characteristics, man.
Oh, thank you.
I could see it. You were great in the improv stuff that we did and everything. Yeah, I don't think you did much theater with us, right?
Yeah, I didn't really get a chance. I did a lot of art in college, more so than theater.
Which leads us to our next thing you got going on. You're working on a big project. Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, I started a company. We're a creative consultant where we take local artists who don't really have the know-how to pitch their ideas and to really get that professional look. And we started off with a project called American Oni. It's a kind of an adult-themed comic, and we're just trying to show the different sides of coins that a lot of people don't really expect when they see, corporate greed or, young rebellions. I mean, there's a lot of hotness in terms of political corruption right now in America, it seems. And we're trying to really highlight that in our comic book.
Science fiction has always been a way to express ideas that may not be able to go mainstream, right? I mean, it's kind of like an analogy a lot of times, right? It's a creative expression. Your story is set in the year 2071. I'm looking at, we're going to post the Kickstarter page online.
Oh, great.
But, so tell me, the drawings are very, very cool looking. So who does all the drawings, and where'd the storyline kind of come from? Who does that part of it?
Well, the drawings are done by Tsubasa Yozora. He lives in California. I started this whole project when I was in college with you, actually.
Nice.
And it's been building now for about 6 years. And my friend Tsubasa, I met him online. We're trying our best to do everything online because that's kind of the way the comics are going now.
You got to be in the 21st century,
Yeah, absolutely. So we have a color artist from Germany. We have one of our creative consultants, one of the writers, he's from Portugal. So we're really spread out across the globe. And we're hoping that...
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just saying we're hoping that kind of helps broaden our audience.
Well, I think that also adds to the diversity of ideas, right? I mean, you got people that are cross-cultural and they're, sharing these. It's interesting that they all could come up with a single theme, and a message to get across.
Yeah, and it's great because, things that might be a hot topic here in America might not translate so well to Berlin. So having that kind of feedback on that, broader cultural spectrum is just really great.
That's awesome. So tell us a little bit about Kickstarter for those who don't know. We've talked about it on the show before. We actually had a guy who was a Henderson alum. He works out for Marvel Studios now, and he was doing a short film. So he went on Kickstarter. So tell us a little bit about Kickstarter.
Awesome. Well, basically, Kickstarter is just a crowdfunding website. It's a way for creators who don't necessarily have the ability to find investors. They just get onto the website. They post everything they have for their project, and then they start building up the funds. And if they reach their goal, then they get all that money, and then they get to return to their investors all of the items that the investors backed, basically.
And some of the items you have some desktop wallpapers for as little as $1 donation. It goes up to a poster for $15. But you got some cool ones on here. If you donate $80+, you get a 3-inch wall ornament that's actually 3D printed.
Yeah, and that one, it doesn't really translate so well to the internet. We really haven't got great feedback, but every time I showed someone that in person, they just freak out and they want it immediately.
How cool is that, man? I just loved it. But you don't have a 3D printer yourself, though, right?
I do not. Yeah, we use Shapeways. It's a website where you send in your 3D model, and then they print it out and send it to you.
That is so cool, man. So how many days we have left on this Kickstarter?
8 days left.
8 days left. So log on to Kickstarter and check this out. We're also going to post this story online to our Facebook. You share it as well. Get it out there. I just love the idea. I mean, aside from the story, which is very interesting, but this collaborative effort across the world, really, I think is just awesome.
That's what it's all about, man.
I love it, Carl. You keep me up to date on everything you're doing.
Will do.
Thank you so much for joining me this morning, brother. We'll talk soon, okay?
Yeah, thanks for your time, AJ.
All right, thank you. That's Carl Buchanan, one of the lead creators of American Oni. It's a project that's going on Kickstarter right now. We'll post a link, and then you can check it out. Carl Buchanan, one of the most creative guys I knew at Murray. So we're going to take a short break. Be back with more on Jam and Henderson right after this.